After the wide fields, a compound appears. Is this finally the family home he's longed to return to? Bloodied and bruised, Yu-Ijin apologizes to someone called Professor. What happened here? The professor tells him not to apologize, it's his fault. The rescue mission failed because of betrayal. It was 3 times worse and they knew their every move. It was a trap. Someone is stomping on Ijin's face. He is on the ground and the enemy approaches. Ijin struggles on the ground, beat up and bloodied. Someone yells, Sergeant Kim, full of worry. The enemy yells, UF asterisk seeker, and prepares to strike with a blade. The blade comes down. Blood splatters everywhere as the blade connects. Is this the end for Ijin? Ijin coughs up blood, barely able to move. Is this really how it ends? Ijin struggles to breathe, hunched over in pain. He's just toying with us, someone says. A soldier asks if Ijin is okay, then asks about the other troops. No one knows where they are. Ijin is tied up and looks up defiantly. Is there any hope? A mysterious figure looms above the tied-up Ijin. He coldly asks, what now? A loud crash echoes as a figure falls. Is someone else falling? The masked enemy asks if he's Lieutenant Kang Ham-chan, then calls him Korean. Someone asks, who are you? It sounds clumsy, but it's definitely Korean. A figure appears proclaiming, I am here to rescue you. Bring the other prisoners and follow me. The savior is shocked. What the? They've all been taken out. What happened? The enemy soldiers question their prisoner about his division. Ijin responds that he is alone. The savior is shocked, wondering if Ijin defeated the other soldiers alone, and stealthily, the door slams shut. Suddenly an enemy bursts in with a shotgun, escorting prisoners. Where are Ijin's allies? The enemy exclaims that this is terrible timing. He realizes that 2 more are inside. Silently taking them out is impossible. But suddenly, Ijin strikes the enemy in the face. He wasn't defeated so easily. The enemy is sent flying with a powerful punch. Ijin is still full of surprises. The prisoners look on in shock. The enemy soldier collapses. An extremely fast object streaks past. Is it Ijin? An enemy lies on the ground, defeated. A new masked enemy appears, ready to fight. The prisoners are shocked. One thinks he took them out without a gun. Time to move quickly. The soldier replies, as sure, as he leads the prisoners away. He's treating us like baggage. Gunshots ring out as Ijin takes down multiple enemies at once. He is mowing down the enemy troops. The prisoners stand no chance of escape now. Ijin is on the ground as an enemy unloads his rifle. Is this the end of the line for him? Ijin is taking down multiple enemies at once, but more are incoming. It seems he'll need help. There are multiple enemies ahead in the hallway. Ijin sprints down the corridor. An enemy asks why he's running in like that. Ijin remembers his military training. At times like these you have to think calmly, he thinks. Ijin stares down the barrel of his rifle, ready to take aim. Ijin is under heavy fire. Will he be able to defeat them all at once? An enemy soldier bursts through the wall, surprising Ijin, but he's ready. Ijin primes a grenade, face bloodied. He pulls the pin, determined to survive. The enemies lie defeated as Ijin rushes forward. He's a real monster, someone thinks. Enemies surround Ijin. A covered man peers out from around the corner. He prepares to punch. Will Ijin be saved by this man? The masked man orders them to wait for 1 minute. The prisoner asks, why? Ijin realizes he was too focused on running. He didn't account for his enemy's stamina. Are they catching up? Ijin realizes he didn't think. Even in a hurry, I can't believe that. The masked man stares at the prisoner. Are you Korean? He asks. Another masked enemy approaches, holding a rifle. He stares down at Ijin, asking, am I correct? The masked man declares that time is up. Explosions erupt in the distance. Someone yells, Lieutenant. As a jeep full of soldiers approaches, reinforcements have arrived. Are they here to help? The soldiers ask about the platoon members. Another replies that someone saved them. The masked man says this is where they part ways. People await southwest. Ijin smiles at the masked man holding his gun. He says he wants to give his thanks even if it was just a request. Ijin thanks the masked man, saying he saved him and the others. Ijin acknowledges the masked man's words. He is heading southwest towards safety. The explosion rocks the ground and an enemy asks, "What is this sound?" Yu Ijin yells for everyone to get down. He knows something big is about to happen. The explosion erupts. Is Yu Ijin going to survive this massive blast? Yu Ijin struggles to get up after the massive explosion. Can he recover? Yu Ijin asks if the troops and the professor are okay. Thankfully, they seem alright as they run away together. Where are they going? Yu Ijin hears gunshots. He looks up in shock as he sees his enemies. Even after that huge explosion, Ijin has recovered. He's ready to fight back again. Yu Ijin returns fire. He's not going down without a fight. One of the enemies sees Ijin firing. What the he's just a kid. 6 months later, back at school, the students are shocked. Attention everyone. 6 months later, a menacing figure sits, his eyes narrowed. Who's that F** seeker? 6 months later, a teacher introduces a new student. He will be joining us today. It's Yu Ijin. The manhwa title card appears. What is next for our hero? Now in school, his sister is taking class. Oppa is probably in class right now, right? Oh my gosh. The class is buzzing with excitement. A very handsome senior has just transferred to their school. Could the new senior transfer student be her brother? She can't help but hope it is Ijin. She writes Oppa in her notebook, remembering the plane crash from long ago. Could that be him? Sue stares intently, a mix of hope and worry in her eyes. Is it really Ijin? A man grabs Ijin's face, tears streaming down, exclaiming, "You were alive." Ijin hugs Ijin tightly. Sue's eyes widen with hope. Is that really Oppa? Ijin smirks faintly. Ijin turns his gaze to Yu Ijin, addressing her directly. So you're Daeyeon. Hey, you Daeyeon. Someone is getting scolded for not answering their phone, apparently daydreaming. A gym clothes exchange is requested. I did bring it, but... The girl scoffs at the suggestion. If I lend it, what should I wear? Are you insane? The bully slaps the girl. That's for you to figure out, dumbass. The class is informed that a new student will be joining them today. The teacher introduces Ijin to the class. He lived abroad, so help him adjust. The teacher points to an empty seat in the back. You see that empty seat? Go ahead and sit down. Ijin quietly says, yes, ma'am. Ijin walks into the classroom, sandals slightly shuffling. Everyone stares at the back of his head. Someone asks Lee Yihyung why everyone is making a fuss over this guy. He's just walking so casually. Just as Ijin sits, someone declares he should taste humiliation on his first day. Ijin's casual sandals shuffle as he stops, a thought bubble with an exclamation mark appearing by his face. Suddenly the bully realizes his attempt to trip Ijin has failed. Damn it, I timed it perfectly too, what? The bully gets angry and shouts, who does this sucker think he is? Is he glaring at me? A serious voice tells Ijin to avoid fighting in Korea at all costs. The man dismisses concerns, stating he has sufficient information. Of course, why would I engage in battle when my data on that place is insufficient? Ijin reflects on his life. I am a professional who lived on battlefields for 10 years. Someone intervenes, telling the bully, that's enough, I'm worried for your opponent. The bully confronts Ijin, asking why he's staring. You wanna die. Ijin apologizes to the bully. The bully is shocked by Ijin's sudden change in demeanor. He's *****ing. The bully smirks, thinking Ijin is scared and weak. He ain't ******. As class ends, the teacher introduces a student, Park Youngchin. The bully asks, you said your name was Yu Ijin, right? Yeah, Ijin replies. A classmate informs Ijin that Lee Yihyun had tried to trip him. She mutters to herself, oh, it's Lee Yihyun. A classmate warns Ijin to be careful of Lee Yihyun and Ju Hyukjin. A classmate tells Ijin the first period is math. Ijin replies, thank you, it's nothing. The classmate thinks Ijin is a nice guy and tells Ijin to ask if he has any questions. The teacher says he'll answer everything as he directs the class to page 47. The teacher starts the math class by writing a complicated equation on the board. Meanwhile, Park Youngchin is hard at work, diligently taking notes in class. The sound of someone tapping on the glass breaks the silence of the classroom. As class ends, we cut to the field where the class is playing dodgeball. Yu Ijin contemplates the situation, lost in a heavy, reflective silence. A flashback shows Ijin injured and lying in the rain. Has Ijin seen battle again? The flashback continues to reveal hooded figures in the darkness with weapons. The sound of gunfire is heard in the distance. His face is bloodied, but Ijin's eyes are focused as he aims his weapon. A shooting range is displayed, showing his expertise. This country is. Ijin looks out the window, thinking how peaceful the country is. After class, everyone is abuzz about the new transfer student, Ijin. After school, Daeun sees Ijin and wonders, Oppa. Ijin asks if the classmate was waiting for him. She confirms and says she wants to go home together. Daeun agrees to Ijin's suggestion to go home together, thinking okay, to herself. Daeun says it's not that awkward a little. Ijin thinks she doesn't need to be flustered. As they leave school, Daeun reflects on her past. I was only 9. Daeun stops Ijin as they walk home. She said she's coming. Suddenly, a group starts gossiping about Daeun's situation with the new transfer student. Oh, you Daeun, who's that? People gossip behind Daeun and Ijin as they leave school together. I guess even you can date. As they leave, people gossip. She said that's her brother. Daeun hears them. He's just a friend. Ijin asks Daeun if they are friends. Hey you Daeun, am I your friend? Daeun is confused, huh? Ijin is taken aback by the sudden vulgarity. The delinquent confronts him, look away or die. Someone at the store thinks Ijin is glaring at them. Is that B** out of his mind? As they leave the store, Ijin is confronted by some local thugs. You wanna die. As the thugs surround him, a voice wonders, trying to act cool in front of your sister. He seems defenseless. Ijin continues to get closer, seemingly unfazed, with no weapons in sight. Ijin wonders why he's confidently acting defenseless and commands to himself, don't fight. The thug sighs, thinking he should leave Ijin alone, but is enraged. You think you can ignore me? Ijin apologizes. A flashback shows Daeun in trouble. My brother was living abroad for a long time. The thug wonders why Ijin living abroad matters. What does this have to do with me? The thug grabs Ijin's shirt, furious, and asking what Ijin's relation to the situation is. Ijin maintains his calm demeanor. Ijin remains silent as he's hit in the back of the head. Ack. The thug is in shock and clutching the back of his head. That hurts like hell. Daeun looks up at the man and asks, her voice full of hopeful anticipation, Oppa. Ijin calmly tells Daeun to stand still for a bit, determination in his eyes. Daeun is shocked as Ijin takes the blame, hiding her behind him. A furious thug shouts, hey, you little s***. The thug unleashes a devastating punch towards Ijin's head. Will Ijin be able to dodge? S** is quickly kicked through a bookshelf, the force knocking him back. The other student stares in disbelief. What? The thug lies on the ground, defeated with a bloodied face. A voice is heard shouting F. The thug is furious and can only exclaim, what the hell? The sun sets as military boots march towards the school's entrance. The muscular men march without shirts. A close-up of a man in a black shirt stares intently. The taller man calls him Lieutenant. He asks if today is the day. The lieutenant confirms it is the day Ijin goes to school. Despite the education, he is worried. They worry about Ijin adjusting, since he lived as a mercenary since he was 9. The lieutenant is confident in his abilities. However, someone grabs the lieutenant's arm. With one punch, he's sent flying. The lieutenant flies through the air. Ijin sighs, having broken his promise already. Despite the earlier conflict, Ijin gets ready for school, adjusting his tie. The lieutenant is knocked unconscious with a single blow. Bystanders watch in shock and awe at the display of strength. Ijin calmly observes the aftermath of the punch. The sound echoes, a testament to Ijin's strength. He crashes through a table, scattering drinks and sending bystanders into a panic. He yells out Koog. Close up, the lieutenant spits out blood, reeling from the unexpected attack. As the lieutenant falls, a bystander gasps, witnessing the sheer power of Ijin's attack. A girl gasps as she sees Ijin. He stares intensely forward, ready to take on his new life. Ijin's eyes narrow, a bead of sweat trickles down his face. A girl notices him and questions him with Oppa. The girl wonders what happened as she was covered for only a moment. The lieutenant lies defeated. The girl's eyes widen, she is sweating and confused. Her mind races trying to understand. Ijin asks if she was surprised. Confused, she responds with huh. He offers to buy her something to eat. She states that it is okay and asks if he aggress. The girl pauses, lost in thought as she remembers what happened. Well then, the lieutenant sighs, massaging his neck. He asks, shall we go home? She agrees with a simple okay. He puts his jacket on her shoulders. She thanks Ijin as he smiles. The girl looks stunned. Ijin thinks WTF about something. She wonders aloud if Ijin is the same person after witnessing his unexpected display of strength. I'll be going ahead, she says. The girl continues to have her doubts, lost in her own worries and thoughts. As she is sweating, she is unsure of what to do. She asks Ijin if he was the one who hurt the upperclassmen. He confirms. She says, I see, still processing the situation. She thinks that it is unexpected and he doesn't seem like someone who would do that. The lieutenant states that it's rude to glare in this country. Ijin continues by stating it is dangerous to make eye contact. The girl replies, really? She questions his actions. The girl looks shocked, realizing what happened. A senior student approaches them and says they were causing trouble. The senior asks, are you causing trouble? Ijin is not scared and he has a confused expression. They walk away together, each lost in their own thoughts and worries. Did I say something wrong? The grandfather, sitting down, asks if Ijin enjoyed the meal he cooked. Ijin does the dishes wearing an apron. The grandfather mentions that he's not skilled at cooking. Ijin, wearing an apron, praises his cooking. Daeyeon eats and says it's delicious, bringing relief to the grandfather. She thinks about how her grandfather took cooking classes when he heard Ijin was coming home. The grandfather asks about Ijin's first day. Ijin, scrubbing dishes, says there were problems. Ijin says there were no problems. He finishes the dishes, hoping to reassure his grandfather. The grandfather, smiling, says that's a relief. The grandfather and Daeyeon say goodnight to Ijin. He lies awake in bed, thinking about the events of the day. The grandfather cries, relieved that Ijin has finally returned home after so long. The grandfather insists he eat, saying it's important he is alive. Eat up. Ijin reflects on his life with the grandfather and Daeyeon. He thinks to himself, a family. A sign reminds everyone to turn off electronic devices, as chaos erupts from Ijin's entrance. A flashback shows the survivors of the plane crash screaming. Ijin is at the plane crash. Ijin has a flashback to his parents. Their screams echo in his mind, a haunting reminder of his past. Ijin wakes up from his nightmare. His past continues to haunt him. Ijin wakes up in cold sweat, gasping for air. It was a dream, he realizes. An alarm clock ticks in the early morning. Ijin stirs in his bed as someone rustles from the door. Ijin opens the door to a room filled with clothes and a laundry basket. Oh, you're. Daeyeon tells Ijin she was just about to wake him. Ijin wonders where his grandfather is. He learns he left for work. Daeyeon states that her grandfather took time off. He is starting work again today. Ijin has to go early. Daeyeon tells Ijin she left last night's leftovers out for him to eat. Ijin returns to the kitchen. He thanks Daeyeon. He thinks about something and stares ahead. Ijin makes his way to school. He approaches his locker. Two girls discuss Ijin. So you're saying the guy who transferred yesterday is Daeyeon's brother? Yeah. Chairs are broken and drinks are spilled as the upperclassmen lay defeated. A girl checks on him, asking if he is okay. An older woman gasps and questions what happened. Heejin turns to the senior. Heejin? Ijin asks. Heejin asks Ijin what happened. She wonders if targeting Daeyeon will put them in danger. People are afraid of Ijin. The girls in the hallway claim there is nothing to worry about. Someone hits Heejin on the back of the head. She cries out in pain, grabbing the back of her head. Heejin is confronted and told to stop overreacting following the commotion. She asks, what is it? The senior girl asks where, with a condescending smirk. She mocks Daeyeon for acting tough and tells her to shut up. The senior girl threatens them, if you don't want to get messed up, leave. Daeyeon is kicked harshly to the ground. Her attacker confronts her about acting out. Two students gossiping about Daeyeon are confronted by the senior student, who declares, your brother can fight a bit, huh? That's why Daeyeon forgets her place and opposes us. The senior girl warns Daeyeon that her brother will make her school life hard. What do you mean? The senior girl says it's my Opa's friends, thinking he probably met her brother. The senior girl lashes out, furious at Heejin. Who do you think you're screaming at? Daeyeon begins to cry, realizing that the senior girl is targeting her because of Ijin. Because of me. The senior girl is furious. She's confident her Opa and his friends will retaliate against Ijin. The bullies try to escape, but one declares, "You think you can run away." The senior girl with the blonde hair stares down a student with an orange tracksuit. She is ready to intimidate them. A group of older students now head to corner Ijin and cause trouble. Ijin's school life is about to get much more difficult. Two men walk ahead. A person with orange hair is behind them with a scary look. Someone yells Opa. Daeyeon is covered with dust and dirt. Her uniform is stained and disheveled. Ijin questions if the person he is seeing is Daeyeon. He stares to the side. Daeyeon's shirt is covered in dirt. She is still yelling Opa in a state of distress. It is confirmed that the two people are going for her brother. The student with the orange hair says his sister is always asking for favors. He thinks they are overreacting. Ijin walks forward, unaware of Daeyeon's injuries and worries. Daeyeon is concerned about his future at school. Daeyeon enters Ijin's mind, ready to provide him some assistance and insight. Back in class 3-2, someone throws a piece of chalk. It lands sharply on the desk. Ijin squints down at the flying chalk. He's not going to take this lightly. The bully shouts about the headshot with the chalk, looking menacingly at Ijin. He asks for an eraser. Ijin calmly asks if that's all they got as he receives the eraser. Suddenly he's kicked hard and sent flying. The world spins as Ijin is sent crashing into a desk. Ijin shouts, clearly in pain. The bully mocks Ijin with his friend. He says it's not like being shot by an AK. They laugh. The bully prepares to hurl the eraser like a weapon. Then I'm gonna use an M4, he threatens, eyes gleaming with malice. The eraser flies. The bully looks down, surprised, as his eraser bounces harmlessly off Ijin's shoe. They are clearly confused. As the eraser falls harmlessly, the girl sighs, declaring that Ijin is annoying. Her partner agrees they need to make him stop annoying them. He asks if she is in. The orange-haired girl is grinning menacingly, planning to call Ijin out after school. Her partner agrees to the plan. Someone asks Ijin what his plans are after school. He wants to know. The handsome senior asks if Ijin wants to hang out, offering to show him around, but Ijin declines. He has to go home with his little sister. The senior is trying to find out the name of Ijin's little sister. He asks around, "What's her name? I might know her." The senior hesitates. "To be honest, your sister, her school life is difficult right now." He says that Daeyeon was bullied due to her popularity in school. Everyone watched. Senior reveals Daeyeon's school life is hard because she's bullied so badly people are surprised she still attends. The senior reasons just because the boy she likes is attracted to someone else. She brutally bullies her. The scene shifts to Ijin at home. He's asked if he's going to school soon. Ijin's grandpa says her school life must be going well. Daeyeon replies, "Of course she does well. You know I always do well in school, grandpa." The senior explains that Daeyeon was always complimented for her studious and well-mannered behavior. The senior asks, "Is that so?" The senior explains that the situation is well known so he doesn't need to worry, but the senior is still concerned. "You must be worried." Suddenly, one of the bullies launches a flying kick at Ijin. The class watches with varied reactions. Suddenly, a group of intimidating older students fill the doorway, confronting Heejin and her partner. "What are you guys doing in our class?" The older students are confronted by another, even tougher opponent, Kim Kisu. He asks, "What's that guy doing here?" Kim Kisu recognizes Ijin as the one who defeated his underlings. They claim to have been caught off guard. The older student confronts Ijin, calling him pathetic and ordering him to come over. The older student flips Ijin off after ordering him to step forward. The other senior wonders why Kim Kisu is protecting him. He whispers, "That girl is screwed." Kim Kisu recognizes Ijin as the one who defeated his underlings. "You're Kim Kisu?" Ijin asks. Kim Kisu, annoyed, tells his underlings to bring Ijin over. He sure glares like a motherfucker. Suddenly, a girl bursts into the room yelling, "Opa!" Someone recognizes him. The older student asks Daeyeon. Heejin runs in, covered in soot, stopping the confrontation. Daeyeon is covered in soot as she bursts into the room. Oppa. She's trying to stop the fight. One of the bullies comments, "Look, it's Heejin's errand girl." He's clearly mocking Daeyeon for caring. Heejin's partner comments that even she'd be worried if her Oppa was getting beaten up. She watches with concern. Another student curses they were fast. Heejin's eyes narrow as he stares down Kim Kisu, the tension thick in the air. What will he do? Daeyeon cries, covered in soot and apologizing, "I'm sorry, Oppa, because of me you." The senior girl calls Daeyeon a drama queen, but Heejin coldly cuts her off. "Daeyeon," he says, "there's no need to apologize." Suddenly, Kim Kisu is struck hard in the face. Daeyeon is crying as she sees the scene. The sound of a kick echoes as Kim Kisu is sent flying back. His underlings are shocked by the sudden attack. What? Kim Kisu's underlings are taken aback by the power of that strike. Heejin is staring intensely. These guys. Kim Kisu spits out blood after being kicked. He shouts, "Fuck." The camera blurs, showing the force of the hit. "PA," the sound echoes loudly throughout the room. Kim Kisu reels from the impact, blood spraying. The kick connects with devastating force, changing the dynamic of the fight. Kim Kisu, hit by a powerful kick, shouts in anger, "Damn it." He reels back from the attack. Kim Kisu is sent flying backward, his sandal flying off with the force. Heejin stares with shock and intensity at Heejin. Kim Kisu falls back. Everyone is shocked as they look down at the brutal aftermath. Who is this? What just happened here? The bullies are shocked at the power of Heejin's strike. We see Daeyeon's face bearing clear signs of recent abuse. It's not just talk. Heejin stands tall, his expression hardening. He asks, "So you're the ones giving my sister a hard time?" Heejin and her partner are shocked, witnessing Heejin's strength for the first time. The title card shows you Heejin now that the prologue is over. Chapter 4 begins. Heejin stares down at the bullies, a predatory smirk forming on his face. "You know a few tricks, huh?" Heejin is kicked to the ground, then one of the bullies shouts, "You little shit." The bully lands a solid punch on Heejin, confident in his attack. A clean hit. Heejin blocks the punch effortlessly, surprising the bully. He is frustrated that his attack didn't land and follows up, then the other side. The bully kicks Heejin in the head, knocking him back. Can Heejin withstand this assault? Heejin's counterattack sends the bully flying. The other students are shocked, not expecting such a reversal. The bully is sent flying and bloodied, yelling "fuck" at the sudden turn of events. Heejin's eyes are filled with rage. Heejin stands over the bully, his face shadowed and menacing. Who is next? Heejin looms over his opponent, face filled with dark fury. The bully has a bloody nose from Heejin's powerful strike. The scene shifts to the aftermath of the fight, bullies strewn across the classroom floor, defeated. Heejin stands tall among the carnage. The onlookers are shocked by what they've seen. Even Kim Kisu got beaten, fuck for real. The girl who confronted Heejin is shocked at the scene. The brother walks in, asking what is happening. The girl is shocked by the brother's sudden entrance. The senior girl says, "Don't tell me." The brother sees the scene and clenches his fist in rage. Is he gonna hit me too? The senior girl's eyes widen in alarm as her brother advances. Daeyeon grabs his arm, desperately pleading, "Oppa, stop it." Daeyeon stares at her brother in disbelief as she questions his intentions. Huh. The bully wonders aloud, "Weren't they bullying you just now too?" Daeyeon cries out, "How did?" Daeyeon's mind races, replaying the events she just witnessed. She wonders if Heejin is fighting because of her. Is he fighting because of me again? Daeyeon smiles, reassuring her brother that she's alright. She grabs his arm, pleading with him to stop. Heejin says, "Okay, let's go." Daeyeon looks at him, confused. He offers, "I'll walk you to your class." Daeyeon leads her brother away while muttering, "Okay." The onlookers are shocked, whispering about what they just saw. Whispers spread through the classroom as the students react to Heejin's display of strength. Did Kim Kisu's gang get beaten by one person? The senior girl bursts out, furious at the defeated bullies. "You morons!" She screams at the pathetic scene they've created. The senior girl is surprised, admitting, "You must be really good at fighting." Daeyeon apologizes, feeling responsible for the fight. Heejin's brother asks her why she's saying sorry. What for? Heejin's brother suggests that Heejin was forced to fight. "What are you saying?" he confidently says. "Of course I'd fight." A stark contrast shows Ijin in his new school uniform versus his mercenary days. From where I used to live. Ijin remembers his harsh past, no matter what happened to others. The narrator states some people change when family is involved. The focus shifts to Daeyeon and her brother. A flashback begins showing the ruins of a war-torn area. He asks, "Family?" "Yeah." Ijin's memories flood back to his mercenary days in a war zone. Explosions and armed conflict were a constant threat during that time. The image shifts to a flashback. Ijin is facing down an armed opponent. The memories return as Daeyeon asks if he barely remembers his family. Ijin thinks to himself he can barely remember his family. "I know for sure that we're a family." Daeyeon is lost in thought, processing the recent events. She seems to be having second thoughts about Ijin. Daeyeon insists she's okay, urging her brother to return to class. He refuses, saying he'll walk her instead. Daeyeon waves goodbye to Ijin, heading to class 1-5. "I'll go on ahead," she says, slightly concerned. The scene cuts to Ijin as he heads to his class. Daeyeon is in class 1-5. Will he see her again? The news has spread as other students note a tall figure arriving at the door of class 3-2. He's here. Some students gossip about Ijin's fighting skills, impressed by the beatdown. Another sighs, still processing what they've witnessed. The students from class 3-2 admit that Ijin looks cool and intimidating. The other is nervous. Ijin stares forward, a slight smile playing on his lips. He's confident. The bully's fist clenches as he remarks, "That bitch, something's different about him." The students are called into a teacher's office. The teacher asks how long will they keep this up. The students whisper amongst themselves. The senior girl snaps at them. One of the bullies asks her to shut up. The senior girl is infuriated, telling the bullies to fight him themselves. Heejin's brother is enraged, asking if they're taking it out on him. As the students are lectured, the senior girl glares intensely at the back of Heejin's brother's head. The senior girl slams the door and declares, "You're the one." A speech bubble highlights Ijin's feat, stating, "Who got completely wrecked by one person." Daeyeon and her brother head to class as Heejin is left behind, face contorted with anger. The senior girl slams the door, making everyone jump as she storms off. Daeyeon stands at the front of the group with a bruised cheek. The senior girl watches her. The senior girl is jealous of Daeyeon's life, seemingly because she can rely on her brother for help. The senior girl asks if she is wrong. Daeyeon doesn't answer. The senior girl angrily wonders if she is being ignored. She's losing her cool. The senior girl is furious at Daeyeon. "Do I have to watch quietly from now on?" The senior girl is firm in her resolve, stating she isn't doing that. Daeyeon is surrounded by students, including the senior girl. Her expression darkens, she's clearly planning something. He assures Daeyeon that she is not to blame, pointing the finger at the true instigators of the conflict. With the bullies defeated on the ground, Ijin smiles ominously. "We're a family." Daeyeon wonders if she can finally attend school without being bullied. The bullies tell her to hurry up, saying they're starving. The senior girl's grip tightens on Daeyeon's hair, yelling, "You little bitch, who said you could talk back to me?" The handsome senior asks, "What's on your mind?" Startled, Daeyeon says, "Huh." He asks Daeyeon what she was thinking about so intently. Daeyeon is startled and apologizes, not realizing he was there. He claims he's bad with directions. Daeyeon is flustered by his sudden presence, responding with a surprised, "Huh, really?" Daeyeon suggests they stop by the store. He asks if she needs something. She reveals her grandfather gets hungry after work. The senior watches Daeyeon and her newfound friend walk away, thinking, "That Daeyeon, she sure is enjoying herself." Her sinister smile reveals her true intentions. The senior thinks, let's see how long she can keep up this newfound happiness. Daeyeon debates what to buy for her grandfather at the store. Meanwhile, other students notice the handsome senior. They wonder what school he's from. Not just at school, everyone talks about how cool the new senior is. Daeyeon buys food for her grandfather. Daeyeon asks if he had a girlfriend where he used to live. He raises an eyebrow, curious about her phrasing. "Girlfriend," he corrects himself, "L like someone more than a friend." He then somberly states, "No, there wasn't anyone." Daeyeon remarks that he must have been popular. He looks away, then responds that he was busy. Daeyeon simply replies, oh. Daeyeon internally berates herself for asking such a personal question. Suddenly, the senior asks if she has a boyfriend. Daeyeon responds flustered, I don't. The senior looks at Daeyeon intently, confused by her question, why? Daeyeon smiles, thinking back to how much fun she had. It was. A new phone with the words, "This is for you, Ijin," is gifted. The chapter transitions to Daeyeon's house where she presents a gift. She hopes he will like it, saying it's the newest model. Ijin says this is. Ijin seems surprised by the generous gift. The scene cuts to Daeyeon's grandfather who says, I already put in both mine and Daeyeon's numbers. Ijin says he helps because grandfather forgets the instructions. The grandfather replies he asked the clerk for help instead. Daeyeon and Ijin are at Daeyeon's house. Ijin says, I wanted to put it in myself. Daeyeon stares at Ijin, surprised. Ijin is also shocked. Ijin is holding the phone. I heard unboxing things is important nowadays, but he then asks if it's okay he put the numbers in. Ijin responds, of course. Daeyeon's grandfather asks if she's upset he only bought Ijin a phone, promising to buy her one as well. Daeyeon insists her phone still works fine. Ijin smiles, grateful for the gift. Daeyeon's grandfather looks pleased. The new phone sits on the table. Ijin lies in bed staring at the new phone. He wonders if this marks a real change in his life. Ijin closes his eyes, determined to embrace this new chapter in his life. Ijin, still awake, receives a text message on his new phone. Who is it at this hour? The man who sent the message recognizes Ijin's name but not the number. He recalls buying Ijin a phone back then. Back at headquarters, one of the men is furious Ijin didn't like his phone. The other wonders if it was the brand. Ijin announces, I'll go on ahead. Daeyeon pauses, wondering if he's going early again. She's become used to his early departures. Rushing out the door, someone tells Daeyeon, yeah, I'm late. Just put your empty plates in the dishwasher. Daeyeon rushes to school, checking the time on her phone. She thinks she'll barely be on time. Her grandfather insists she should have slept in. He said he was fine with leftovers. Daeyeon smiles at her thoughtfulness. She's happy her grandfather is happy, but suddenly a swift kick sends her flying with a kaya. Daeyeon falls after being kicked. A masked figure says, watch where you're going, bitch. Daeyeon thinks, I thought my life was going. Barely avoiding a break, Daeyeon apologizes after the kick. The masked bully cruelly silences her, shut up, bitch. She demands if an apology is enough for being kicked. Meanwhile, the masked bullies want to go to karaoke. The masked figure's question rings out, you're coming too, right, Daeyeon? She recognizes this voice. The figure says, Heejin. Cut to inside a karaoke room where the masked bullies mock someone singing, you fucking suck at singing and dancing. The karaoke goes on and one of the men thinks, who screams that much while singing? Then someone gets called out. Daeyeon lies on the floor, textbooks scattered around. Someone asks, Miss, are you all right? Daeyeon hesitantly says, yes, opening her bag with trembling hands to retrieve her books. But a voice booms, you don't look okay at all. A man tells Daeyeon, just wait here, I'll call 911. She replies weakly, no, really. Though injured, Daeyeon says she's fine as she leaves the karaoke room. A man calls out, concerned for her well-being. The teacher looks up asking, where's Daeyeon? A student replies, she's not here today. Back in class, Heejin's partner asks if they'll be okay, but Heejin responds confidently. Heejin says she taught that bitch a lesson, justifying the karaoke. Her partner asks what she's talking about. Another replies it's nothing. Heejin taps her phone, her gaze fixed on Daeyeon. Meanwhile, someone approaches the school entrance, ready to start something. Back at school, Ijin finds himself surrounded by students, the focus of their attention. What could they be whispering about? The handsome senior's presence is noted by students around the school entrance. They seem to be waiting for him. Is he about to start something too? A hand dials Daeyeon's number, wondering, did she go home already? Ijin is asleep when his new phone rings. Oppa flashes across the screen. Who could be calling him at this hour? Suddenly, a clunk sound is heard as the senior opens the door, ready to enter the fray. Entering the fray, the senior observes Daeyeon's shoes at the entrance, thinking, so she was home. His expression hardens, suggesting a sinister plan. Knock knock, the senior stands outside Daeyeon's door. Daeyeon, it's me. The senior realizes Daeyeon is home, noting her presence. Yeah, I still don't know the area. Sorry, I was asleep. The senior asks if she feels that bad, but Daeun replies that it's just a slight fever. He thinks he should be fine with sleep. He says to let him know if she needs anything. Okay, Daeun replies. He decides to buy medicine. Seeing blood on the shoes, the senior realizes things are worse than he thought. His eyes narrow with cold fury. The senior stares at Daeun's bloody shoes, his expression shifting from concern to grim determination. Someone's about to pay. Yu-ijin treats Daeun's injuries. Daeun winces in pain, but he asks her gently, does it hurt a lot? Ijin scolds Daeun for her recklessness. She admits she fell down the stairs avoiding a bike. It'd be better to get hit. Ijin is concerned and asks Daeun if she needs to go to the hospital for her injuries. Daeun insists she's okay, worried a hospital visit will expose the truth. Heejin confronts Daeun about her injuries and accuses her of lying. Daeun nervously denies her involvement. Heejin explodes, accusing Daeun of being behind the masked bullying. She yells, "You wore a hat and mask, but it was definitely you bully me all the time." Heejin believes Daeun is just assuming things because they don't get along. Heejin is sure that Daeun is trying to hide something. She demands to know what Daeun is planning. The woman is furious that Heejin is being treated like a criminal. An officer tries to calm her down, but she's beyond reason. Heejin is distressed that no one believes her accusation. Her mother demands an apology for her daughter's treatment. Heejin's mom is outraged, asking, "You think you're getting away with this?" She exclaims, "It was really Heejin." She demands to speak to Daeun's parents. Heejin's mom says that the parents are getting involved. Heejin's eyes look terrified as she realizes this went too far. Daeun is crying and feels guilty. The mother of Heejin grins, realizing she has no proof. Ijin worries that Daeun's grandfather will be shocked by her injuries. He sees her and asks, "Daeun, are you okay?" Ijin carefully examines Daeun's face. Despite the bandages, she insists, "Yeah, I'm fine." Ijin tells Daeun that her bones are okay, just heavily bruised. "Anyways, Oppa, you're really good at this stuff," Daeun says. Ijin asks if it's too tight and Daeun says it's perfect. Ijin worries that her grandfather won't react well to her injuries because of his heart condition. Ijin tells Daeun to get some rest. She agrees. Daeun calls out to Ijin as he's leaving the room. Daeun smiles, thanking Ijin for his help. He smiles back, seemingly satisfied she's okay. Daeun reflects that she made the right decision to hide the truth from Ijin. As Ijin walks out of the room, he wonders what's really going on with Daeun. Something isn't adding up. Night falls and the neon lights of Club Wolf glow brightly in the city. Trouble seems to be brewing. Word is spreading about the fight. Even you got wrecked by one person. The group in Club Wolf are discussing Ijin's strength. One member wonders if they should just ignore what happened. Another says they underestimated him. One of them exclaims, "We can't just let this go." At Club Wolf, one man asks, "What can he do if we gang up on him?" Another retorts that something is up with Ijin and can't just be overlooked. The leader agrees, calling them not just martial artists who only fight one-on-one. They decide to get you Ijin for sure tomorrow. The Club Wolf leader gets a call from Bitch Sister. He lights a cigarette, annoyed. "Oppa, are you still fucking around at your hideout?" she asks. "Get to the point or I'm hanging up," he threatens. The Club Wolf leader asks what Bitch Sister is on about. She reveals she handled Daeun. He asks her what. The Club Wolf leader gets a call. "You're fucking insane," he says. "Good job," he adds, hanging up. Back at Club Wolf, the leader looks confused getting this strange call about Daeun. Ijin is seen walking the streets. The leader mutters, "That bitch came all the way here." Another person asks, "Oppa," he wonders what's going on. The leader of Club Wolf gets a close-up and thinks, "Well, fuck." The Club Wolf leader is smiling and ready for a fight. He says, "I actually wanted a revenge match with you anyway." The Club Wolf leader lunges with a battle cry. Ijin blocks the punch with a swift kick to the jaw. The leader is sent flying back after being kicked. The members of Club Wolf are shocked by Ijin's strength. Ijin's leg connects, kicking someone into the air. The Club Wolf members are getting utterly destroyed. As the leader is sent flying, one of the Club Wolf members wonders how this is even possible. The Club Wolf leader chokes as Ijin's kick connects. He goes flying backwards from the force of the blow. Ijin is determined to win this fight. The Club Wolf leader charges forward but is quickly defeated. One of the Club Wolf members tries to attack Yu Ijin from behind with a bottle. The Club Wolf member gets a kick to the face. He spins through the air, knocked out by Ijin. A Club Wolf member attempts to stab Ijin with a broken bottle, but Ijin grabs his arm. Ijin's power sends the Club Wolf member flying. He coughs blood as he crashes to the ground. Ijin completely floors the Club Wolf member. He is quickly gaining the upper hand. The Club Wolf leader is knocked out, covered in blood. Another member stands ready to fight Ijin. The leader is shocked by the call. What the fuck, he thinks about Ijin. He demands, who the hell is this guy? The leader is conflicted about Daeyeon. He thinks to himself, Kim Kisu, do I have to? The Club Wolf leader is serious now, threatening, don't mess with my sister. Despite being outnumbered, Ijin is winning against the thugs of Club Wolf. The thugs are sent flying into nearby tables, their attack easily repelled. Yu Ijin is skilled at using his environment to his advantage in a fight. The Club Wolf leader questions what his sister did to them, demanding an explanation for the conflict. The Club Wolf leader's attack is blocked. Ijin's cold gaze shows he is far from finished with the fight. The Club Wolf leader swings a metal pipe down towards Ijin. Ijin swiftly dodges the attack, narrowly avoiding a serious blow to the head. Yu Ijin's punch lands squarely on the leader's face, sending him flying backwards. Gasping in pain, the Club Wolf leader shouts, "You little," as he gets slammed into a table. With a swift kick, Ijin sends another thug flying back. His attacks are precise and powerful, leaving the thugs unable to retaliate. Ijin is showing his superior combat skills. The defeated leader is enraged. Ijin asks if it was necessary to bully the weak. The glass shatters as Yu Ijin strikes the leader. Enraged, the leader shouts, "Die, asshole," from the ground. Enraged, the Club Wolf leader lunges at Ijin from behind. Ijin's intense gaze remains fixed forward, unfazed by the sneak attack. He's ready for what's coming next. Before Ijin can react, the leader smashes a bottle across his face. The leader grabs Ijin, ready to continue his assault. Seizing the opportunity, the Club Wolf leader slams Yu Ijin into the ground. The Club Wolf leader is now spitting blood from his mouth. He curses under his breath as he lies on the ground in pain. Gasping for air, the Club Wolf leader mentions the name Kim Kisu. Ijin stands over him, asking what he should do next. Yu Ijin declares it's his final warning. He warns them not to mistreat his sister or he will find them. He adds that the leader's sister should also be careful. Ijin warns the leader, bloodied on the ground. If his sister is bothered, Ijin will target him next, no questions asked. And when I find you. The Club Wolf leader struggles to breathe. He's kneeling on the floor, clutching his chest in agonizing pain. Ijin's stern face shows he is still angry. It won't end like this. The Club Wolf leader coughs up blood, writhing in pain. Kook cough. He is defeated, yet the fight's impact is visible. Ijin leaves the scene of the defeated Club Wolf members. Little does he know, he is now being watched by others. The blonde girl wonders why he suddenly ended the call. She stands in front of Club Wolf, growing worried. As Ijin departs, a figure approaches the now empty Club Wolf. Is this another enemy or perhaps an acquaintance? Inside Club Wolf, a girl wonders what to do, while the bitch sister believes she got away with hitting Daeyeon. The blonde girl is demanding someone not come closer. She seems scared, perhaps anticipating a confrontation. Suddenly someone trips Daeyeon in the hallway. The bitch sister is smug, believing her plan worked. Yu Ijin receives a call on his phone. He stares at it with an unreadable expression. Yu Ijin receives a call from his grandfather. He assures him that he will arrive shortly. The blonde girl flinches, grabbed roughly by the arm. A shadowy figure leads her away from the scene. Inside the wrecked Club Wolf, the blonde girl is shocked to see the aftermath. What happened? The blonde girl finds the leader beaten. Kim Heejin is furious and demands to know if he was beaten up again. The bitch sister warns someone not to bother Ijin's sister. Daeyeon's friend questions her sudden change in demeanor. She now lies on the ground, covered in blood. The bitch sister demands an answer. Cornered and scared, Daeyeon's friend refuses to explain anything to her. Heejin's brother sees the state of the club. The blonde girl's widened eyes indicate she is in shock. The defeated leader is threatened once more by Ijin. The blonde girl is fearful, understanding the gravity of the warning. Ijin is now in the streets, a figure standing behind him. He pauses, wondering who it is. Ijin's grandfather waits outside, relieved to see him. He waves to his grandson under the night lights. The grandfather receives a call saying, "Sorry for calling you so suddenly when you're out having fun." "Not at all." He worries Daeyeon got hurt. The grandfather tells Ijin he heard about the medicine. He's suspicious of Daeyeon's story about falling down the stairs, noting she refuses to go to the hospital. The grandfather thinks back to raising Daeyeon. He feels guilty for not being around during her childhood. The grandfather thinks of how much Daeyeon has helped him. It breaks his heart to see her hurt like this. The grandfather worries that Daeyeon won't confide in him. He wonders what a grandpa like him could possibly do. Ijin acknowledges his grandfather's concern. It didn't take him long to realize how much Daeyeon is loved. The grandfather states that Daeyeon loves Ijin. Ijin appears to listen, but his expression remains unreadable. Ijin assures his grandfather that he will watch over Daeyeon at school. He tells him not to worry. Ijin and his grandfather sit together. The grandfather says, "You have no idea how happy I am that you're here." Chapter 8 begins. Ijin the mercenary is now a student. Ijin is in a hospital bed covered in bandages. A stern man in a suit says, "Considering all the trouble you get into." The man in the suit replies, "I knew this would happen eventually." The mom explodes, blaming the man. Heejin, with her arm in a sling, demands to know who is responsible. The club wolf leader sighs. The mom agrees, thinking Ijin will pay for hurting her daughter. The club wolf leader vows Ijin will get what he deserves. The club wolf leader confronts Heejin about telling their parents. He feels humiliated for snitching after getting beaten up. Heejin argues how she's supposed to explain the hospital visit and her arm. The leader asks if Ijin is responsible for her arm. She smirks while saying that of course Ijin is to blame. We'll show him just who he decided to mess with. Club wolf leader is recovering in the hospital after the beating from Ijin. Someone says, "I just contacted the chief." Another voice wonders why. The father wonders why his wife is making a big deal out of this. She shouts it is Saturday and she can't wait until Monday. "Do you have any idea who the chief is?" The man says the chief has been cleaning up after them for years. "I've already told him everything." Heejin, arm in a sling, thinks to herself, that transfer student is going to get his ass kicked. The club wolf leader clicks his lighter, upset about the situation. This is humiliating, childish fights. Two men tell someone to stop, saying boss is listening. The chief sighs, "This fucking sucks." The chief smirks, wondering what he's hearing. Someone in a car asks if he wants someone taken care of. "Please take care of this yourself." The chief is on the phone, shocked at what he's hearing. One of them broke her wrist. The chief is furious that someone broke Heejin's wrist. Ijin stands alone in his room at night. Elsewhere, the club wolf leader is angry, regretting involving his parents. Heejin is upset about what happened too. The chief wonders if things will end with the call. Someone asks why they are looking for Ijin so late. The chief is told to just call Ijin over. An old man asks, "Even so at such a late hour?" The chief walks away saying he will be right back. The two men behind him call out Ijin. Daeyeon looks at Ijin, calling him Oppa. She has bandages on her face. The chief introduces the other man. He reassures Daeyeon's grandfather, saying they will just have a little chat. Two imposing men flank the chief as they approach Ijin. Ijin wonders who these guys are. Ijin wonders why he's being approached. The men say, "Boss, we brought him." The chief smokes, realizing someone followed them. "He followed us quietly without making a fuss." The chief wants it over with. Another man agrees. A metal pipe is shown ominously, signaling violence. Someone is told to grab his arm. The chief tells someone to grab Ijin and is going to make it quick but painful. He checks his phone to find a number. The chief asks why Ijin messed with those kids. He sees Kim Kisu in Ijin's recent calls. The chief scoffs at what he's hearing on the phone about Ijin. "I'll teach them a lesson." Ijin thinks, "What's with that guy?" The chief stares intensely, hand outstretched. He seems to be initiating a handshake. The narrator states Ijin doesn't show emotions. Ijin swiftly counters and breaks the chief's arm. A loud crack echoes. Enraged, the chief curses Ijin as he cradles his broken arm. One of his men approaches with a metal pipe. The chief screams, "Who do you think you are?" One of his men swings a pipe at Ijin. The chief is shocked someone is swinging a pipe at him. He barely has time to react before the pipe makes contact with his face. The man with the pipe slams it into the chief's face instead of Ijin. The chief flies backward from the sheer force of the blow. Someone notices the sound of the punch. Ijin is fast and his hits are strong, knocking out the chief. The chief is slammed into the floor. "I got him," the pipe man shouts. Instead of getting hit, the chief gets a face full of metal pipe by his own man. The stunned chief only gets a U out before realizing Ijin is dangerous. The chief sighs, wondering why he's fighting a high schooler. He acknowledges Ijin has openings in his fighting style. Another man attacks. Ijin dodges the pipe, heading straight for the chief instead. The chief's men are knocked out by an unseen force. Ijin is still standing. The pipe flies through the air after the chief's face got destroyed. Ijin dodges effortlessly as the attack misses. A brutal punch is delivered. Ijin is responsible. He is a formidable fighter. The chief receives a powerful punch, sending him flying. The force of the impact shatters the tiles on the floor. The chief is surprised that Ijin was able to block the attack. Ijin wonders if it was necessary. Ijin is ready to fight. One of the men is bewildered. "I thought I got a clean hit. Just who the hell are you?" The chief realizes there's no way he's just some high schooler. He's on a completely different level. The chief thinks that anyone should be blocking the attack with the intention to block every hit. The chief laughs. Now this fucker is getting into a stance. He punches Ijin. Ijin delivers a swift and powerful punch. The chief is sent flying backward from the sheer force of the blow. The impact looks devastating. Ijin delivers a devastating blow. The chief is struck directly in the face with immense force. The chief is hit and sent flying, as Ijin says, trying to block and counter rather than avoid them. The chief is sent flying. He wonders how Ijin could be this strong. "Against me." Ijin clenches his fist, ready for another strike. The sounds of the fight echo loudly around them. The full force of Ijin's kick connects with the chief's face, sending him spiraling out of control. Ijin strikes again. The chief is sent flying. The force and speed are unbelievable. The chief lays on the floor defeated, saying, "No way." Ijin's eyes seem to glow with power. The chief is knocked out and on the ground. Ijin's eyes show his resolve. He wasn't even nervous from the start. Someone thinks, "I don't know what this guy's deal is, but..." Back at the office, Kim In-bi's secretary asks about news from the chief. He nonchalantly suggests she should try calling him instead. Kim In-bi says to Heejin to just wait, someone will call. Heejin has a smug expression on her face. Kim In-bi's wife demands the call be put on speakerphone. Kim In-bi apologizes to Congressman Kim for his wife's request. Kim In-bi's wife asks what he means by pointless. He thinks he should be apologizing instead. Kim In-bi's wife realizes that the chief has been beaten. "Your children messed with the wrong person." Kim In-bi's wife can't believe the chief lost to a high schooler. Not only is he skilled. Back at the office, Kim In-bi's wife is furious. She storms to the door. Kim In-bi's wife is angry. She realizes Ijin isn't a normal high schooler. The chief and his men lie defeated. The name Kim In-bi glimmers in the background. Kim In-bi receives a call confirming that the chief has already arrived. He wonders who Ijin really is. The chief is shocked he was defeated by a high schooler and thinks he should quit. The woman with the arm sling and another woman confront Ijin, asking if he hurt their children. The congressman tells the parent to stay out of it. She responds in shock, and he demands to know how Ijin got in. The chief realizes Ijin took out the guards too. "I think your children messed with the wrong person." The chief wonders how Ijin discovered his location. One parent comments on Ijin's behavior. The other parent declares, "You're done now." The mother declares she's reporting Ijin for everything. The son agrees with his mother's decision. He considers calling the police instead. The mother screams at Ijin through her phone, asking if he knows who he's fighting. The congressman responds, "I know very well." The mother is shocked he would risk his career like this. The mother smirks, confident Ijin's life is over. The congressman yells at Prosecutor Choi to come to his office. Heejin apologizes over the phone. Down below, her brother, Club Wolf leader, cries and an ominous panel reads, "Wow, look at this bitch. You shouldn't have done shit to be forgiven." He slaps someone complaining his hand hurts. He demands more money than 180,000 won, $180 USD. The man on the phone demands the person on the other end brings him 500,000 won no matter how. He then asks, "Miss." The congressman hangs up the call. Heejin's mother demands to know how Ijin got in. He remains silent. In the safety of his home, Ijin plugs in a USB drive into his computer. He looks determined. Heejin tries to explain, but Congressman Kim silences her. "Kim Heejin, you shut your mouth." Heejin states she also has evidence on Kisu. There is also footage of bullying and theft. Heejin states there is also a video of her sister getting beat up in a karaoke bar. Ijin continues, stating it was never his fault. He reveals the threat came from the hirer. The mother yells, "I filmed that too." Congressman Daeun's pinches the bridge of his nose. Ijin responds, asserting his need to protect his sister. Congressman Kim offers to pay for Daeun's medical bills and some extra money. Congressman Kim asks, "You don't need money, then what do you want? Do you want my children to apologize to your sister?" Heejin's mother says she'd rather bite her tongue. Ijin states apologizing doesn't undo what they've done and demands they stay away. Heejin's mother exclaims, What is this nonsense?" She is shocked and enraged by Ijin's demand. The congressman decides against moving them to a different school. "No, I'll send them overseas." The mother and daughter yell, "Dad, dear." He silences them. Ijin asks if he is satisfied. He wants the bullies gone by tomorrow. The mother will inform the school immediately. Congressman Kim tells Ijin to wait. Ijin responds, demanding all the footage now that he has fulfilled their request. The congressman stares intently at Ijin. He thinks, those eyes belong to someone the same age as Kisu. Ijin's eyes narrow as he finishes with, "You must think I'm An." Congressman Kim calls Ijin an idiot. He stutters and corrects himself, "I misspoke." The parents look distraught. A man peers out from behind a wall with a shocked expression. His family member nervously asks, "Ijin, are you okay?" Someone asks Ijin if he's hurt. Ijin responds he is fine, but his expression suggests otherwise. The family expresses their concern for Ijin's safety. Ijin coldly states they should worry about themselves first. The senior asks how Daeun is doing. Daeun replies she's doing much better with a pained smile. Ijin promises Daeun she won't fall down the stairs again. Daeun is confused, wondering what he means. Daeun looks confused with question marks above her head. The story cuts to the exterior of the school and then a shot of classroom 1-5. Daeun smiles, declaring she is almost fully recovered, so Ijin doesn't need to escort her to class. Ijin simply replies, "All right." The girl says goodbye before going to class. She thinks, "I came to school so they wouldn't worry, but..." A student announces Heejin isn't coming to school anymore. They are transferring overseas. Daeun is assured that she won't be falling down the stairs anymore. Ijin declares he cleared it out. Daeun calls out to Ijin as he walks away down the hallway, "Oppa." Ijin exits the conversation, leaving everyone speechless. Daeun stares after him, flustered and unsure what to say. Yoo Ijin smiles, saying, "See you later." Daeun stares in thought as he walks away. Daeun wipes away tears and says, "Okay." She is determined and walks forward. A girl looks shocked, demanding, "Is it true that Heejin is moving abroad?" The girls are surprised by the news and wonder why she didn't say anything. Rumors spread that Heejin and Kisu are both leaving. The girls pressure Eyoung to speak, but she remains silent. Another student confirms the rumor, "You're in the same class as her." The girls are panicked, unable to reach Heejin. They realize the rumors must be true. Her sudden departure is questioned. Heejin's messages reveal her mother is getting involved. A figure wonders to themselves, but the girl emphasizes, "Don't tell me Heejin's situation has something to do with that guy." With her arm in a sling, Heejin glares, connecting Yoo Ijin to everything. At that moment, Heejin's mother is called out by the rest of the girls in disbelief. F***Seekin hell, this is annoying, Heejin's mother says, "I barely got out." She explains the move was sudden, but it will only be for one semester. In the shadows, someone says, "Yes," he plots, "I can't just leave those videos alone." The girls mock Heejin's mother's claim. The girl asks, "But what's it for? I heard Kisu's going too." Heejin's mother claims it's a family matter, but seems bothered by the situation. Heejin's mother is enraged. "Damn it, this is humiliating. She is doing what she wants." The blonde girl suggests they educate Daeun again. Another girl asks, confused again. A girl realizes Heejin. Heejin's mother says, "It makes me puke just thinking about it. I'm leaving Korea soon." Heejin's mother declares Daeun a disgusting bug. Daeun's grandfather is a patrolman and she plans to deal with him. Heejin's mother thinks, "Looks like I made the right choice coming here." She wonders what. Heejin's mother is surprised, while a mysterious figure in a hoodie lurks in the background. The hooded figure stops at the stairs, hearing "Why Yoo Ijin?" from Heejin's mother. The hooded figure pauses, questioning Yoo Ijin. Heejin's mother is shocked, asking, "Who's that? What?" The girls question why Ijin is around. Suddenly, a hooded figure appears, implying he heard everything. Everyone from the video is here. Heejin's mother questions what video is being talked about. A hooded figure says, "You guys should know better." The blonde girl wonders if he was waiting for them. Heejin's mother sweats, realizing someone overheard. She looks around, unnerved by their presence. The girls wonder why there's no music. Suddenly, Daeun, looking angry, confronts them about being too noisy. Yoo Ijin appears as the hooded figure, overhearing Heejin's mother's plan. Through a blurred lens, a figure's hooded gaze pierces through. It's Ijin. The plan is in motion. Kim Kisu is in the hospital, while another wonders about Heejin's whereabouts. The man in the hospital bed states Heejin left to say goodbye. Congressman Kim is angry she didn't stay quiet. Someone bursts in, urging Congressman Kim to watch something important. A video of Heejin's sister plays on the screen. The news covers the bullying incidents, highlighting video evidence. Many victims are now stepping forward. Special laws might be put in place. The injured bully is in disbelief. Is that the attackers are Congressman Kim's children? Congressman Kim is in disbelief. Yoo Ijin stands below, listening intently. It seems he anticipated this reaction. Suddenly, Yoo Ijin is called out. "Hey, Mr. Normal High Schooler," someone says. The man is questioned, "Why did you do that? I thought you were just making a deal." A deal. The bullying target's parents are revealed to be politicians. The bullies are told to step on her harder. Ijin planned to resolve this quietly. Ijin states to himself, "It's because I have a twisted personality." The man questions if that's her excuse, wondering if the congressman will allow it. But Ijin states he won't have time to worry. Evidence of Congressman Kim's voting fraud and money laundering surfaces. Even his own party calls for an investigation. The man recognizes the voice. "Yes, it looks like they're worried this scandal could affect them," says the man from Club Wolf. and are deciding to speak preemptively. The man states to Yu Ijin, a normal high schooler with a snide like hell you are. The man from Club Wolf and Ijin Daeun stand face to face, a tense confrontation. The girls discuss their plans for Daeun. You go and try to talk to him first, one insists. Yu Ijin sits at his desk, lost in thought, a serious look on his face. Yu Ijin shivers as he reads Daeun's message telling him to not worry about her. Go home alone. Reading the message, Yu Ijin wonders aloud, go home, have fun, what am I supposed to do? Ijin is greeted cheerfully by a classmate. Hello, you're early today too. Someone asks Ijin if he is busy today. Ijin pauses and repeats the question back, confused. A classmate asks if Ijin is going home with his sister. He smiles, replying, no, I have time today. A classmate, surprised, asks, really? The handsome senior asks Ijin to hang out after school. Sure. Someone tells Ijin that he heard rumors about Kisu being sent overseas. Ijin looks shocked by this revelation. The students are shocked at the rumors about the Heejin siblings in the news. The student replies, I think you guys are mistaken. Heejin's friend smiles, what do you mean? I heard you went to Kisu's base. The students whisper, spreading rumors. I heard they all got wrecked by you alone. One of the students says Kisu's defeat is shameful. They realize Ijin is a strong fighter. Let's celebrate Kisu's disappearance. The student says, oh, should we celebrate the establishment of justice? Band together. The student suggests Ijin join their group since he transferred recently. Ijin declines, saying he already has plans. The student is curious. Ijin then replies, I promise to hang out with Yunchin today. Someone replies with an excited tone, oh really Tilda? Then we can all play together. Yunchin looks nervous as Ijin asks, doesn't that work? What is he referring to? With the rumors flying, the classmate says, let's do that. Okay Tilda, see you guys later. Ijin's classmate wonders, they wouldn't bully me with Ijin around, right? The teacher demands silence in the classroom. Heejin and her friend leave the classroom, seemingly plotting something. Yu Ijin is surprised at something that he is noticing. There. The classmate asks Ijin, do you know them? The other replies, of course, it's Shin Yuna. The boys gossip about Shin Yuna, revealing she is from a rich family. The teacher introduces new transfer students who studied in America. First it's Ijin and now Sukju. One of Ijin's classmates sighs, thinking it's best to keep quiet now that Kisu is gone. Another wonders about the new desks. The students realize the new transfer student is Shin Yuna. She is stunning. Shin Yuna is getting up from her desk. Where will she go? Go Sukju seems to be looking at Yu Ijin, the secretary's gaze unwavering. What does he want? Shin Yuna walks by Ijin's desk, a mischievous glint in her eyes. Go Sukju is questioned by someone. He tells them that he will check to see who Go Sukju really is. Shin Yuna asks a classmate, HM tilde yeah. Ijin remains out of the frame. Shin Yuna gives a knowing smile. What is she plotting against Yu Ijin? Shin Yuna is shocked that Ijin ignored her. She is thinking, what the? He ignored me. She then addresses him directly. The classmate agrees to lead the way, asking if a PC cafe is okay with Ijin. What will Ijin say? The classmate suggests, yeah, I know a place that just upgraded their computers. The image changes to show a movie projector running. We'll be continuing our normal life training today. The stern voice booms, reminding everyone what a high schooler must know. It's a PC cafe. The classmate elaborates, describing it as a place with computers for both students and adults. What do you do there? The stern voice says, good question. It elaborates about what happens at PC cafes. Some people use the internet and watch videos. The stern voice continues. Over 90% of them play games at these PC cafes. The stern voice explains, I will explain a few games you must know before entering a PC cafe. The voice mentions games like League of Legends and Battlegrounds. Yu Ijin stares intensely, his gaze unwavering as a new problem arises. At the PC cafe, the group is playing a game, and blame is already being thrown around. Go Sukju acknowledges that his lieutenant's information about Ijin was accurate. The classmate suggests going to Koka after the PC cafe, ramen first. Koka. The stern voice continues, mentioning another popular spot, a coin karaoke. Someone tells Ijin to prepare to sing popular songs beforehand. Ijin responds with a serious tone, understood. Ijin clenches his fist, appearing serious and pensive about the recent developments. Someone wonders, why does Ijin look so grim? Does he not like ramen or coca? The students say goodbye to each other as they head home after school. The narration explains that Ijin recently transferred, and that he is Daeun's older brother. The boys are confused. One asks, he's Daeun's brother. I thought she had no family. It's revealed that after the plane crash, Daeun lost her parents and brother, but it's her brother. Go Sukju states that Ijin's resurrection and timing is suspicious. We need to investigate. Sukju Ijin is walking the streets. He gets the chills. Someone is watching him. Ijin is checking his phone while the girls are talking about him online. They call him a challenger. At a PC club, some gamers are watching Yunchin play. They think he's carrying Ijin. Yunchin confesses his Smurf account. He's asked about his main account rank, Diamond. The spectators worry as they notice Ijin, now known as Lord Challenger, faltering in his gameplay. The spectators discuss Ijin's performance. Ijin receives a message and is asked, "Did you just come back?" The message was from Daeun. Ijin turns around to see her walking towards him. "Yeah, what are you doing here?" Ijin offers to carry Daeun's bag, but she refuses. Daeun questions if Ijin was with his friends. Daeun asks where Ijin and Yunchin went. Yunchin responds, PC cafe. Daeun finds it a bit odd. Daeun asks Ijin if he's doing okay, especially at school. Ijin remains silent, looking away. The handsome senior tells Daeun that she doesn't have to worry. He feels relieved being at school with her. Daeun asks Ijin if he's hungry and if he ate with his friends earlier. Yeah, the PC cafe sold lots of food. The senior is looking at Daeun thinking, he's coming home soon. The senior asks, can I eat together too? Daeun asks if he's hungry because he already ate. He states he only ate a little bit. Back at home, grandfather comments, Daeun's cooking skills are getting better. Grandfather tells Daeun that she was the one who made the soup. He asks Ijin if it is tasty. Ijin responds, yes, it's delicious. Daeun smiles, enjoying her meal as well. Everyone at the table is happy to be together. Ijin remembers the explosion and his time as a mercenary. He remembers being alone in a dangerous environment. Ijin recalls the chaos of explosions and battles, the darkness of war. Ijin walks into his room. He glances back with a subtle smirk. His phone rings on the desk. The caller ID reads Congressman Kim. Ijin is on the phone and is referred to as Lieutenant. The caller tells him to just call him Hyung. Ijin answers the phone call with a simple yes. The caller asks about his school life. Ijin responds with, what is it? Ijin's superior asks him over the phone, did you kill someone or something? The caller is worried and states it's a big problem. Ijin says no, that's not it. Ijin hears it's already been resolved, so no need to worry. Understood. Ijin ends the call, responding with yes, sir. The school is bustling with students. Inside the classroom, someone says, I guess Ijin isn't here yet. Yunchin says Ijin is good at fighting but sucks at gaming, for show. Speaking of Ijin, one student asks who would win between Ijin and Sukju in a fight. Someone says the difference between them is like a pro and an amateur. Sukju is out of his leg. A student asks if Sukju defeated 20 people. A second student interjects, correcting, it's 30, not 20. The student nods in agreement. Yeah, some delinquents got too close to Yuna. After beating 30 guys, Go Sukju walks out unscathed. Yunchin and his friend are amazed. Wow. The students mention Ijin caught Yuna's kidnappers. They were retired foreign soldiers. Ijin has no chance against Sukju. A student reflects on the previous conversation. He's just on a different level. Sukju is standing in front of Ijin in the hallway, sizing him up. Sukju demands to know who Ijin really is. Ijin responds saying he doesn't understand. Sukju asks if Ijin is playing dumb. Sukju towers over Ijin, interrogating, why are you faking your identity to be here? Sukju presses further, stating he heard Ijin was involved in Kim Kisu and Kim Heejin's transfers. Ijin denies his involvement. Sukju asks, is that so? Sukju reveals the school has no record of Ijin ever attending. Someone states, I didn't think you would come back, Sunbi. The new transfer student speaks, mentioning she arrived yesterday and is in the same class as Ijin. He is surprised and silently questions if it is true. The girl is surprised, stating she thought he didn't have an older brother. She thought he died with their parents. Daeyeon arrives home to find her grandfather clutching his chest in pain. Daeyeon's grandfather cries and says, "Your oppa." While on the phone, the narration reveals Ijin is alive. Daeyeon looks surprised. The senior wonders why they didn't know all this time, as Ijin contacted them if alive. The transfer student clarifies, confirming Ijin only vaguely remembers their grandfather and her. Daeyeon is speechless and unsure how to respond. Heejin shares that their grandfather was overjoyed after the phone call. She continues, saying he even took cooking classes. "Cooking classes?" Daeyeon asks. Heejin responds, "Yep," to Daeyeon's comment. Daeyeon is seen from a low angle, eyes sharp with suspicion. Heejin asks Daeyeon if Ijin is really her brother. Confused, Daeyeon asks, "What?" Heejin says she was just confirming and assumes a DNA test was performed to confirm. Heejin asks, saying her grandfather says he still looks like he did as a kid. She wonders if his DNA was checked. Heejin asks if Daeyeon's brother has a girlfriend. Daeyeon is confused and wonders why she is asking that. The senior asks Ijin what he is trying to say. He demands to know his objective for forging documents. The senior claims Ijin's documents are fake and that he never went to that school. Ijin, unfazed, demands, "Where's your evidence?" The senior questions Ijin's motives, but Ijin is unfazed. Someone wonders what is going on with this guy and stays silent. The senior reveals he only heard from others that Ijin never attended. He doesn't have proof. Ijin remains unfazed. The senior retorts to Ijin's question by asking him if he is being investigated. He adds that he was too suspicious. The senior asks what. Ijin declares that he returned home. It's his answer to his motives. The senior responds to Ijin, stating he can prove the documents are fake. The senior questions Ijin's claim of returning home. Someone states that they are calling the documents fake, but Ijin has already begun winning them over. The senior thinks to himself, they only transferred here yesterday, but they found out that much after investigating for a day. The students ask Ijin if he's joining them to rank up, but he declines, stating he can't make it today. The girl states it's her grandfather's birthday. The senior asks if just the three of them will go. Ijin agrees. The senior thinks to himself that he lacks physical evidence, but suspects Ijin's school documents are forged. Even the DNA results could be fake. He reveals he learned something about Daeyeon. The senior is shocked and asks what is going on with Daeyeon. The person informs that Daeyeon was bullied badly by Kisu and Heejin for 2 years. He asks how bad it was. The orange-haired girl reflects on the recent events. An oppa who was thought to be dead takes on his sister's bullies. Someone thinks sounds like something straight out of a fairy tale. She believes Ijin and the senior girl are against her. The girl shares her thoughts with Sukju, stating there are a lot of strange points about Ijin. She wonders if he should be quieter. The senior girl realizes then Daeyeon could be in danger. They are living in the same house. In the store, someone calls out oppa to Ijin. The girl states she didn't want to pressure him, so she hadn't asked yet. Ijin is asked what he did after the plane crash. The senior girl tells Ijin he doesn't have to answer if he doesn't want to. Heejin simply responds, no. Ijin reflects on his past, recalling, "I had severe psychological trauma. It's fine." Ijin states he just lived a busy life. The senior looks back at Ijin, surprised at his simple answer. Heejin asks if Ijin is too busy for a girlfriend and he simply replies, "Yeah." Another girl states that Yuna Ijin is in his class. The senior seems surprised and asks, "Shin Yuna?" She mentions Yuna is in Ijin's class, surprising him. Ijin thinks to himself that he was happy to see her again today. Daeyeon asks, "What?" She asked if you had a girlfriend. A cake sits on the table as Daeyeon excitedly tells her grandfather to open it. Her grandfather asks why they bought it. Her grandfather says she barely has any money. Daeyeon insists she has enough to buy him a present. Ijin reveals he already got him a gift. Her grandfather expresses a really big present, the fact that Ijin came home safe. A phone rings nearby. The phone rings, Daeyeon exclaims it's her phone and goes to answer it. "Hello, Yuna Sunbi." Daeyeon answers the phone and ends up on a call with Yuna Sunbi. Ijin is surprised at the call, lost in thought. Her grandfather is confused, asking what she needs so late. Daeyeon relays that Yuna Sunbi has something important to tell him. Ijin confirms, asking if it is the same Yuna. Ijin researches the connection between Shin Yuna and the SW group. The group has ties to the defense sector. Ijin wonders why he's being investigated so thoroughly. He thinks they are being overly cautious. Someone is calling Ijin, he turns to look at them. Ijin is leaving the house. His grandfather asks if he is going to see Daeyeon. The grandfather tries to hide his intentions. He says he needs to walk around too. Ijin insists his grandfather stay put. He says he will get Daeyeon. His grandfather says he needs to work at dawn. He wants to offer him allowance. His grandfather says be careful out there. Ijin responds, simply saying okay before heading out. Daeyeon says it was a lot of pressure. Heejin then asks if she's thought of studying abroad. Heejin mentions that many students consider studying abroad. Daeyeon is surprised, admitting she never really thought about it. Heejin is surprised by Daeyeon's response, wondering, Daeyeon, however, seems determined to stay near her grandfather due to his declining health. She believes she has to stay. Daeyeon smiles softly, admitting to herself that she feels safer with Ijin around. Daeyeon is confused. The senior reveals school officials claim Ijin never attended school. The senior also investigated his residency, no record either. The senior says she has evidence regarding Ijin's fake records. The senior wants to leave, but Go Sukju asks where. The senior decides they need to tell Daeyeon. The senior reveals their investigation shows Ijin faked his documents, but they have no evidence he is not her brother. She's doing this to protect the girl. The senior believes that Daeyeon deserves to know the truth. Daeyeon smiles, happy to talk with her Sunbi again. Daeyeon smiles, explaining that it's been a while since she talked like this. The senior is confused. Ijin is seen walking down the street alone at night. He appears to be on a mission. Ijin stares intently at Sukju. Sukju is staring back at seemingly. The senior tells Sukju, why don't you wait here, as Ijin looks on. Sukju remembers he didn't want to provoke Ijin, he can't leave Daeyeon at risk. Just wait a moment. Sukju plans to catch Ijin after confirming everything. He believes 2 people is excessive. Sukju is kicked away, flying backwards and crashing into a nearby parked vehicle. Sukju is launched into the air. He crashes violently into a vehicle, leaving him stunned and injured. The vehicle is heavily damaged. Back on the ground, Sukju is dazed and injured, struggling to sit up. He thinks, Ijin's face is revealed. There's blood on his face, but he's unharmed. In the distance, 2 figures stand guard. Daeyeon cries into her hand, upset by the current events. Ijin's eyes narrow, a fierce determination burning within him. 2 men see Sukju flying back and begin to run away, startled and afraid. The 2 men who were with Sukju gasp in shock, realizing what just happened. Sukju yells as Ijin confronts him. He wants to know who was after Daeyeon. Ijin is shocked by the news he hears. 2 men rush to the scene, responding to an emergency. It's me, Yuna got kidnapped. A voice calls out, wait. Ijin turns to Sukju and asks, be honest, are you not involved in this kidnapping? Sukju retorts, I have no time to waste with you. Sukju says the SW agents are already searching. Ijin says he will find his sister. They can look for Yuna. Ijin's brutal attack leaves the 2 men shocked. One asks Ijin if he brought a car. The remaining man is unsure what to do. Someone sighs, it's going to be a hassle from now on. They are called boss. The boss is smoking. Someone reports that Ijin is here. The boss is confused. The boss stands with his back turned to the viewer. The lights are off. Heejin's mother questions someone who entered without permission, clearly annoyed. A man reports that Lady Yuna has been kidnapped. Someone asks what, and another confirms Yuna. A final person acknowledges a rumor. The woman asks if her grandfather should keep pursuing that company. Someone answers, I'm not sure. The title card appears, ominous words hang in the air. Yuna is going to die. The scene shifts, revealing a scarred man smoking. A younger, beaten-up man is observed. Someone notes, that's Cha Dusik. He's a fairly respectable figure. Cha Dusik is a powerful figure in the underworld. Someone wonders how Ijin knows him. Dusik questions the new man's presence. The beaten man glares in response to the accusation. Cha Dusik, smoking, denies involvement. He adds, "You would have to be insane to mess with SW." The scarred man asks if Dusik knows who would kidnap Yuna. Dusik retorts, why would he tell him? He's asked about the mess. Finally, Dusik reveals his little sister was also kidnapped. Cha Dusik sighs, clearly frustrated. He admits, I've heard reports of people asking for a warehouse. Dusik learns another gang took the job based in Incheon. Who could they be? The scarred man responds, I don't know the specifics. Ijin replies, thank you. Another man yells, hey, high schooler. The scarred man holds his phone, clearly receiving a concerning message. Cha Dusik demands you Ijin's phone number. That's my phone, put your number in there. Ijin questions why. Ijin clarifies he needs it to contact Ijin regarding the warehouse location. Ijin taps on his phone, inquiring, does the motorcycle at the entrance belong to you? The man responds with a confused what. Ijin is told to take the motorcycle and go find Yuna. A man yells, questioning his unconfirmed information. An ominous thought bubbles, Yuna will probably be safe until they get what they want. The men relay that Ijin is quick and determined. They question what he is really up to. Ijin starts the motorcycle, revving the engine. He is on a mission. Ijin speeds off on the motorcycle, determined to save Yuna Sunbi. With steely resolve, Ijin's expression hardens. Below him, Yuna Sunbi is unconscious and restrained, uttering a faint yug. Yuna asks if someone is awake. She apologizes, saying, you got caught up in this because of me. They ask, what do you? Yuna is shocked. Her companion confirms they've been kidnapped and says this isn't the reason for the meeting. It looks like you're awake. Yuna Sunbi and another hostage are being watched. Yuna demands, why did you kidnap me? A shadowed man replies, you don't need to know. One kidnapper tells her to sit quietly, promising it will all be over soon. Yuna wonders why she was kidnapped. The kidnapper orders the girl to be killed. Someone yells no. Another man says he won't let anything happen to her, he threatens. Shin Yuna threatens to kill herself. A kidnapper laughs, suggesting she won't get what she wants. He asks, someone like you is going to die to protect someone else. The kidnapper tells Shin Yuna to bite her tongue and kill herself. He hopes to deter her suicide threat. Yuna has a trickle of blood on her chin. Her kidnappers receive a message. Sunbi, another answers, fine. The kidnappers discuss their plan, silence the hostages, dispose of Yuna later. That bluff bought you some time. Ijin arrives at the docks, the warehouse looming in the distance. His companion asks, is it there? The men realize Ijin's information was accurate. A car headed in this direction was captured on surveillance footage. The kidnappers are waiting at the warehouse. One of the men says, hold it, you should wait for reinforcements here. The SW agents will come to this location soon. The kidnappers are in position, waiting. Ijin has arrived, watching from a distance. He's assessing the situation. A kidnapper chokes one of the hostages from behind, attempting to silence them. The kidnappers have been defeated. The warehouse floor reflects the aftermath of the fight. Ijin stands victorious. The kidnappers lie defeated on the ground. An ominous narration states, he's too used to taking them out quietly. The kidnapper turns to face Ijin. Who are you really? He then recognizes him, I'm your classmate. The kidnapper is in shock, staring at his classmate. Ijin is focused on his task ahead. The kidnapper's demands are delivered. Cancel the business venture or Yuna dies within the hour. He asks about the escort team as he checks the time on his watch. The kidnappers argue but follow orders, then one of them gets punched, shutting them up. The kidnapper shouts, what's going on, confused by the sudden change. Yuna is still restrained, unaware of the chaos outside. Ijin takes down another enemy with a single blow. One of the kidnappers asks how many they've defeated so far. One of the kidnappers is surprised by Ijin's strength. Sukju is standing with a grave expression, demanding to know who's responsible for this situation. One of the men reveals there have been attempts on Yuna's life before, even recently in America. The other states it is his fault. They realize the real group is with Yuna. An older kidnapper mentions the kidnapping plan and how useless these guys are. The leader asks Sukju if he's okay, then points out his arm is injured. The injured kidnapper sees Ijin's wounds. He taunts him, mentioning the leg injury too. The kidnapper is stunned by what is happening to his lookout. He questions how Ijin got past them so easily. Two kidnappers are casually talking. They think the group went to the restroom. Another kidnapper is shocked to see his defeated comrades. Ijin appears, taking him by surprise. Ijin delivers a swift blow, taking down another kidnapper with ease. One of them yells in surprise. Ijin's powerful punch lands squarely on another kidnapper's face. A final defeated thug lays on the floor, unconscious. Two kidnappers decide to split up. Someone calls out Ijin and he turns around surprised. This might not end well. Ijin turns to face the person who called out his name, ready to apologize. Their leader orders the remaining kidnappers to investigate the commotion outside. They comply immediately, responding with a "Yes, sir." Suddenly a voice shouts, "Stop right there." Ijin pauses, turning his head slightly, a serious expression etched on his face. The fight isn't over yet. The kidnappers are shocked to see Ijin. They say it's just a kid. The leader reveals the men Ijin beat up were useless pawns. He demands they eliminate him quickly. Ijin leaps into action, swiftly navigating through the building in pursuit of the kidnappers and Yuna. The kidnappers find Yuna Sunbi and the senior girl. They wonder if the others all went to fight Ijin. The kidnappers are worried that the agents are coming. They question how anyone knew their location. Are they stalling for time? A new pair of figures approach, one stating, "You must be Sukju from SW." The leader reveals that Ijin was a pain because he was always with Yuna. He realizes it was a mistake. The other kidnapper is sent flying with a devastating punch. He is defeated before he can even react. Ijin continues his relentless assault, delivering a crushing blow to yet another kidnapper. They are collapsing left and right. The leader acknowledges Ijin is stronger than the previous thugs. He is struck squarely in the face, falling unconscious as the leader realizes Ijin's skill. Ijin's brutal attack continues. The kidnapper's body is sent flying by the sheer force of the blow. Ijin delivers a powerful punch, knocking the kidnapper unconscious. The impact is so strong, the kidnapper grunts in pain before collapsing. Ijin easily subdues another kidnapper while Yuna and the senior girl watch. The leader speaks, impressed by Ijin's training as a bodyguard since childhood. Yuna and the senior girl realize this is no friendly spar. Ijin asks, "What?" Yuna exclaims in shock. There's a splatter of blood on the floor below. Ijin approaches, hurt. The kidnapper scoffs, asking why Ijin is surprised. They were never going to fight him fairly as he pulls out a knife. Despite the kidnapper's knife, Ijin manages to strike him hard across the chest. Injured and frustrated, the kidnapper says, "Damn it." Ijin stands with a knife and thinks he should take care of that girl. The kidnapper wonders what just happened. Yuna Sunbi looks on, clearly shocked and scared. Yuna screams, seeing a weapon pierces through the floor. The weapon strikes the senior and blood splatters around. Ijin's speed is unmatched. He's headed towards the senior and Yuna, determination burning in his eyes. An enemy is taken down with a gasp. The leader shouts Sukju's name and calls his men idiots. "Leave Yuna, kill the other two." Another kidnapper hears a gurgling sound and spits up blood. He gives a final "Yes, sir," succumbing to the attack. Ijin reaches out to stop the door from closing completely, determined to save them. Ijin is covered in blood and stares ahead, his expression a mix of pain and determination. The kidnappers are defeated. Outside, the Goseong faction is connected to the kidnapping. The men inside wonder if they know what they've gotten into. The boss lights a cigarette unfazed. His subordinate interrupts, calling Yu Ijin a mere high schooler. The subordinate is confused why he's being questioned. He then retorts that Yu Ijin leaked Congressman Kim's secret files. He's upset they lost to a high schooler. The boss continues, saying they shouldn't help Ijin even if it's Yuna's fault. The boss nonchalantly says, well, what can you do? His sister got kidnapped. Yu Ijin emerges injured from the room where Yuna was held. A masked assailant watches him, his expression unreadable as Yuna lies in pain. The kidnappers are shocked. Yu Ijin's face is full of fury and determined to protect Yuna. The kidnappers are shocked by Ijin's appearance. Shin Yuna recognizes him and cries out his name, Yu Ijin. Shin Yuna, still injured, sees Ijin and calls out, Oppa. Shin Yuna calls out to Ijin, using a familial term. A masked figure laughs maniacally above the defeated kidnappers and Yuna. The masked figure questions Yu Ijin's motives, mocking his attempt to save his sister. Ijin is silent, determined. Daeyeon, injured and crying, yells for Yu Ijin to run, saying it's too dangerous. Yuna cries, blaming herself. Because of me, 2 innocent people got involved. An injured woman offers to cooperate, hoping for everyone else's safety. The masked figure questions her intentions. Why should I listen to you? Yuna grits her teeth, determined. The kidnappers are defeated, but Ijin is badly hurt. The room is filled with tension. Yu Ijin. Yu Ijin remains composed despite the situation. The kidnappers are worried about their schedule and order kill him first. The man confirms, yes, sir. Ijin stares intensely. He sees the blade coming towards him. The kidnapper slashes at Yu Ijin with a knife. Ijin grabs the man's arm, stopping the blade inches from his face. He glares at the attacker. The masked figure watches from above. Ijin's face is bloody but resolved. Yuna looks up at Ijin with worry and shock, blood dripping from her face. With a grunt, Ijin clutches his bleeding arm. Below, Daeyeon is terrified for Ijin's safety as the fight continues. A voice tells Shin Yuna to close her eyes. Her expression is full of sadness and pain. Yu Ijin's counterattack begins. He strikes with incredible force, eyes full of intensity. The man screams in pain, collapsing to the ground. Ijin's counterattack was more brutal than anticipated. His victory is assured. The injured woman is shocked by Yu Ijin's brutal attack. He's injured, but his precision is terrifying. Are you? The man responds, revealing he was part of the escort team, but something feels off about his declaration. The masked figure remarks on Ijin's skill with a knife, then questions if he really is an escort team. The masked figure declares, well, it doesn't matter whether you reply or not. His eyes glare through the mask. You're going to die here. The kidnapper swings a kick towards Yu Ijin's face, clearly trying to finish him. The kidnapper dodges Ijin's strike at the last moment, narrowly avoiding a fatal blow. A clash of blades. Ijin's counterattack is a fierce display of speed and power. The kidnapper is down, clutching his wound, uttering "Kug." Another man stares in shock. What's going on? What are you? The masked figure mocks Ijin's skill, asking, this little runt is better with a knife than I am. Ijin strikes a final blow. Blood splatters across the room, a brutal end to the fight. The kidnapper is defeated with a "Kug." Another man is scared, with nowhere to run from Yu Ijin. Shin Yuna looks on, injured. The bloodied hands of the masked figure close in as he prepares for his next move. Guns are now introduced into the situation. The masked figure declares, you little. It seems Yu Ijin is in trouble. The masked figure with blood on his hands aims the gun and yells, die. Yu Ijin is slashed across the chest with incredible force and speed. Blood splatters as the blade finds its mark. Ijin dodges the kick, grabs the man's leg, and throws him into the masked figure. Yu Ijin delivers a devastating flying kick. His opponent collapses, defeated, but Yuna is still in danger, scared for her oppa. The masked figure, his face obscured, reveals himself to be Sukju, the bodyguard. Yuna cries as she knows Sukju betrayed them. Sukju, why? Yu Ijin stares ahead, surrounded by the carnage he has wrought. Yuna is told that she can open her eyes now. She is scared about what she's going to see. Shin Yuna, finally recognizing him after the chaos, weakly calls out, Opa. Yuna's expression shifts from horror to hope. Below, Ijin declares, I came to get you. Yuna gently touches Ijin's face, noticing his injuries. You're bleeding. Are you okay? Ijin is surprised by Sukju's betrayal. He can't believe what's happening. Ijin wipes the blood from his brow, trying to reassure Yuna. She looks up at him, tears streaming down her face. Ijin sees Daeun is also here and hurt, asking about her condition with concern in his voice. Ijin looks down, unreadable and injured from the ongoing fight. Shin Yuna stares at him with concern. The scene cuts to a hospital hallway. Ijin sits alone, lost in thought as hospital staff passes by. Two nurses whisper nearby, gossiping about Ijin. He feels a shiver run down his spine, an ominous premonition. Ijin checks his phone. He replies to the message, some stuff came up. Ijin apparently caused some trouble. The group chat mocks Ijin, telling him to go up in rank. Ijin smirks. Someone watches him from down the hall. Ijin is at the Mental Health Institute. His face is bruised and covered with a bandage. He reflects on the situation. Suddenly, the scene cuts to a group of armed figures surrounding a restrained person. They look like special forces. Ijin's face is bruised and damaged from the recent attack. He orders someone to take Daeun to the hospital, promising payback. The scene is in the hospital. She reflects, even if the bullies face consequences, the victim still suffers. Ijin reflects, considering what she went through, she should get plenty of therapy. He is worried for Daeun. The truck speeds forward, ready to cause some serious damage. An impact is imminent. The truck explodes in a burst of fire and shrapnel. The driver yells in horror as everything goes up in flames. The truck is a crumpled mess of metal after the explosion. The danger is far from over. Men in suits assess the aftermath of the fiery crash. A white car is engulfed in a cloud of smoke. The director coughs, struggling to sit up after the blast. His eyes widen as he realizes the danger. Amidst the wreckage, Daeun whispers, She clutches a wounded Ijin close, her eyes filled with concern. The director is injured, but his focus is on someone specific. He thinks to himself, that kid. The director thinks he protected the director in that short amount of time. Someone asks, Director, are you all right? A woman says, oh, I'm okay. Men investigate. Someone wonders what happened. Another responds, looks like drunk driving. The director's men are quick to act, prioritizing the driver's rescue and investigation. Daeun is healing Ijin. Someone shouts to hurry and call the hospital. She says that the director could be hurt in the explosion. The director's men ask if he's okay and insists he gets checked. The director thinks something is more important. Someone off-panel states the importance of wearing a seatbelt even in the back. The woman looks confused, muttering, Despite the near-death experience, Daeun continues to cook, preparing 2 lunch boxes. Ijin asks if Daeun needs help, but Daeun explains she is making lunch for their grandfather. She'll make his separately. Ijin declares he's going to their grandfather's workplace. Daeun is shocked. She hasn't been there since Ijin returned. Then Ijin declares he'll go as well. Daeun waves goodbye to her grandfather. He tells them to be careful on the way back. He smiles warmly as they leave. After work, Daeun's grandfather thinks about his grandchildren. He decides to buy snacks for them on his way home. Daeun's grandfather scolds someone for parking improperly. A menacing figure emerges from the flashy yellow car. Daeun's grandfather tells the driver that he can't park there. The tattooed man argues he can park wherever he wants. The woman asks if he wants to get fired from his job as the patrolman. He reminds them he works for the residents. The tattooed man questions if the old man will take responsibility if his car is scratched. Daeun's grandfather is speechless. The woman scoffs, implying the salary of Daeun's grandfather is worthless. She believes she is above the law. Ijin arrives. He calls the tattooed man worthless garbage before attacking. The tattooed man grabs Ijin's face, calling him a little shit. He demands to know what Ijin will do. The tattooed man yells at Ijin to move the car. Ijin ominously warns the man not to disrespect his grandfather again. The tattooed man threatens Ijin and his grandfather. His accomplice stands silently beside the car. The tattooed man asks if he is all right, as Daeun's grandfather assures him that he is okay. The man taunts Daeun's grandfather, asking if he recognizes him. Then, Daeun's grandfather suddenly realizes who he is. Inside a club, the tattooed man tells someone, "So I did right by that high schooler." The man is told his grandpa would have gotten chewed out if I didn't see them. A mysterious figure is standing inside a red room, looking towards the floor. The tattooed man asks what's wrong. He demands to know why the person on the phone is so angry. The tattooed man thinks, apparently someone you know lives in this apartment. He smirks slyly while touching his lips. The hooded figure menacingly asks, "Are you threatening me?" Downstairs, two men are shocked. The men nervously plea, "It's just a normal picture, please stay over there." Heejin's mother looks closely at a tablet, muttering to herself, "The kid. She is curious about you, Ijin." The man wonders. He then tells the woman he was training with Team 3 but should be done by now. The person on the phone replies, he only has mild injuries and no serious problems. Yu Ijin is being treated. She insists to double-check Ijin's condition after the crash. You should still ask him if he hurts anywhere. Heejin's mother thinks about the implications of Ijin getting hurt on the job. Someone approaches Ijin in the hallway, lockers visible in the background, asking, "What's up with you today?" Yu Ijin looks back, asking what the person is referring to. The person continues, saying Ijin was calmer than before. The person continues, stating how bad it is to stand out. He asks Ijin what's up, reminding him he's not a bodyguard anymore. Ijin is taken aback by the statement. He clarifies he wasn't an official bodyguard. Before arriving in Korea, Ijin says he stopped a kidnapping by chance. Ijin reflects on his actions, thinking he became complacent. The person asks where Ijin got trained. Ijin says he learned it in the neighborhood he used to live in. The person thinks he could have just said no. Heejin approaches Ijin in the hallway, standing uncomfortably close as she says, Heejin asks if Ijin is going to do bodyguard work today. Ijin looks up in thought. Ijin is confused. Heejin says it will be good experience because she doesn't have a job like her sister. She adds he doesn't need to change clothes. The tattooed man stands beside another man, a speech bubble indicating someone is talking. Daeun remembers wanting ramen and gimbap while she was in America. She smiles at the food in front of her. Ijin is staring intensely at a photo, seemingly lost in thought. Someone wonders if that's him. They ask if there is anything to eat. Ijin tells Heejin he shouldn't eat with her while guarding her. Heejin seems surprised but says that it is okay. Someone wonders if they have to intervene while others say Team 3 is watching Yuna. Another agrees, saying it's time to eat. The conversation continues as someone wonders if Ijin was taken to his house on purpose. They recall the recent accident. Are you okay? The tattooed man responds, yeah. Someone asks if Yuna gave him trouble. The man replies she's famous for her prickly personality. The person states that it's not like her, that she insults people with a smile. He claims he's never seen her like this before. Someone is smiling and looking at the side profile of a man, a potential romantic interest. The tattooed man lies on the ground, exhausted and bloody. He is being watched. Yu Ijin is with someone in the military uniform who is injured. Leave me and go. Despite his injuries, the uniformed man insists, I'll die soon even if you save me. The injured man says if you came alone, everyone else refused, right? Or needed more time. Yu Ijin thinks to himself, I was gonna go home after this. It is going badly. Yu Ijin demands the injured man stay alive, telling him, you're not going to die right this second, so stand up. Bloody and injured, the soldier hears a voice, survive, and go see your daughter. Heejin asks Yu Ijin to talk alone together. She is visibly nervous about her request. Ijin says yes to her. A man excuses himself from the table, stating, I'll step away for a bit. Other men in suits stand nearby. A man and woman are speaking in a restaurant. He asks, "What did you want to talk about so suddenly, Shin In-guk?" The senior girl is surprised, learning Ijin knows her father's name. Yuna asks what kind of person he was. Ijin looks at Yuna Sunbi. Yuna Sunbi looks back at Yu Ijin, clearly having something on her mind. She is worried and stern-looking. What's up? Yuna explains that her father was always busy, never home. His work overseas made it hard to stay close as a family. Yuna says she didn't get to see him in his last moments. She resents that he only worked. Yuna thinks she wouldn't have told her father anything if he hadn't saved her. She wonders if Ijin also thinks the work is pointless. The soldier remembers seeing needy children. He resolves that he has to do it, unable to face his daughter if he fails to save the man. The hooded figure realizes he's made many mistakes with his daughter. He regrets not understanding sooner. Ijin says her father wanted to meet her until the end. Yuna seems surprised, asking what he means. Go Sukju states he will reveal the contents of the request. Yuna is unsure of what. Ijin continues, he wanted to see your face before he died and is sorry. The soldier argues that it's up to Ijin to tell her himself now that they've arrived. It's a request. You have to personally meet my daughter. Even if the soldier gets to meet his daughter, he makes Ijin promise. You have to tell her. Yuna is shocked. She asks Ijin if he met her father before he died. Ijin replies, "This is all I can tell you." Yuna starts to cry and asks what her father said. Ijin reflects on Shin In-guk's final wish. "I didn't understand back then, but I think I understand now." He understands the request. Shin In-guk wanted Ijin to leave the battlefield. He wanted things set right.